Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Smacktalking Amigos with me, Kean Davidson, and him, James Bernard.
Smacktalking Amigos! Pyro, pyro, pyro! What on earth is that spider doing down there? That is a strange looking thing. Anyway, we are coming today from...
the venue in Bournemouth, unfortunately, again.
Again?
I keep telling people to get us over in America, but...
We wouldn't mind that, but we've decided to upgrade today by wearing wrestling t-shirts today.
Yeah.
So you're wearing your Brock Lesnar t-shirt.
I am the male Suplex City bitch.
And I, of course, I'm a hugger, like Bailey.
Yeah. First things first, a lot to talk about this week. It was the first Raw exclusive brand Clash of Champions. They needed to live up to a lot to beat Backlash, and boy did they.
Yeah, I think they really did. A lot of people were saying Backlash had the better matches, was the better show, but I think Raw, in terms of storyline continuation, in terms of where they're going with the brand, did a great job.
Yeah, I think they lived up to it totally, so let's get started into it. Nia Jax, first of all. Alicia Fox was on the kickoff show. Alicia Fox came out all guns blazing.
Absolutely.
But Nia Jax just showed her
Well,
power.
we knew how Alicia would come out as that crazy sort of character, but Nia for me is one of the most promising women in the division at the moment. She looks powerful.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, for her size, she's very athletic as well.
Yeah, there are some certain freaks of nature like Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, who are just athletically gifted. Nia Jax is 123 kilograms, I think.
Wow.
Weighs as much as Roman Reigns does. So the way she can move around the ring is exceptional, and I think it's good that they're giving her actual talent instead of just local athletes.
I agree. And Nia versus Charlotte, which will be eventually, will be one hell of a match.
Yeah, of course it will.
You know, both of them are very, very athletically gifted. But I think that Charlotte could give Nia a run for her money, and I don't think Nia's going to look massive against Charlotte. She'll look bigger than her, but she won't look massive against her.
No, I think Charlotte's just more gifted because of the third generation
and the lineage, of course.
Okay, and Nia Jax won that. We go on to the main show, the New Day versus Gallows and Anderson. You predicted the New Day, I predicted Gallows and Anderson, so you were one up on that.
1-0 to me.
In terms of the match, I think that was the disappointment of the night.
I think so. I think so. They're obviously trying to get the New Day to break Demolition's record.
Yeah.
That's can easily be seen.
That's for
470 something days.
Yeah,
I think.
474 days, I think it is. They would need to surpass Fastlane pay-per-view, I think.
And I think almost going into
surpass Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
Well, if there's a passing Royal Rumble, would you give it to them all the way till WrestleMania? You've got to think about it.
If you're going to give it to them past Royal Rumble, then you'd have to keep it on them till WrestleMania, because if you want to make sure that it never gets beaten again.
But I mean, we said it was disappointing. What for you was disappointing about it? Because Anderson and Gallows, again, not doing anything wrong.
No, they're not doing anything wrong. I just thought the match, I think, I looked on it afterwards, lasted 6 minutes and 32 seconds. For a tag team match, that is unheard of. Definitely for a championship match, but the finish to it was cheap as well.
It's weak, and having the New Day have a heel type finish, which we see them do a lot, to be honest with you, is a weak finish for them. They don't need that anymore.
No.
So that was that match. We move on to the next match. Of course, the US title match.
The next match on the fight card, I think it was the Cruiserweight Championship.
Just looking at that behind you. If you guys could see this spider behind our heads.
It's pretty terrifying.
It is terrifying. I'm just going to let it pass and scoot forward a tiny bit. So I actually look quite a lot taller than you when I scoot forward like this. So, the Cruiserweight being me.
Yeah.
Now the bigger wrestler, as you can see.
Yeah, TJ Perkins versus Brian Kendrick. That was an absolute epic of a match.
Poetry in motion, if you ask me.
It was.
And
TJ Perkins, the skill set that they were showing. I like Brian Kendrick coming out as a heel, and TJ Perkins, where he's come from, being homeless, having to fight for every single penny. to get the Cruiserweight Championship.
I'm a big fan of the Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
A huge fan of Brian Kendrick. I think he could actually have a very, very successful singles career in the WWF. We've seen him appear there before. And I actually think that him playing against or fighting against TJ Perkins is a great feud for TJ to have right when he's starting his WWE career.
Yeah, it looked like that Brian Kendrick accepted the defeat by putting his hand out, but when they went in, because Brian Kendrick was the mentor to TJ Perkins.
Absolutely.
And then he just headbutted him a bit like mentor is a bit sick of the apprentice sort of thing. So TJ Perkins won that. Unfortunately, I forgot about it last week, so we didn't vote on that. But the next match was, I think, arguably one of the matches of the night. All square at 3-all. It was the rubber match, Cesaro versus Sheamus. They put everything on the line. If you can, please go onto YouTube or the WWE Network if you've got that, and watch the Sheamus versus Cesaro match, because that will be up there at the Slammy Awards for Match of the Year.
For me, it's a host versus a host fighting against each other. You know, it's move after move after move, skill set after skill set of two underrated wrestlers.
Yes, very underrated. Like I said, they put everything on the line. So Sheamus was bro kicking Cesaro, they were kicking out of that. The neutralizer, Sheamus kicked out of that. The King of Swing, kicking out of that. I think coming to the end of it, we saw the suicide dive from Cesaro. He nearly paralysed himself doing that. So we saw how far they were willing to go to do it, and it went into the outside of the ring, and unfortunately ended in a TKO for both, because no one was cleared to compete.
But we will speak about Raw a little later and say the continuation of that was fantastic on Raw, but we'll leave that for Raw.
So that was a dead heat because we both called for Cesaro to win that. The next one was Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn,
which we said would be match of the night.
Match of the night, but in my estimations, in my opinion, it just wasn't.
No, I think it's not that they let themselves down. Again, it was a perfectly acceptable match for an episode of Raw.
Yeah, it was for an episode of Raw. It was, but for a pay-per-view, not quite. There was good combos in it. But the reason I say it wasn't match of the night was, I think it is Sami Zayn does the flying DDT through the corner rope, and Chris Jericho was like, yeah, nah, I ain't going to support you on that. So obviously Sami Zayn stopped in his tracks.
Which is strange, because I mean, we've been saying Chris, you know, even though he's getting on in terms of age, is doing the best wrestling of his career, not just the best mic work. And for him not to, not to sort of allow for that to happen, for him to take it, and it was a character role. You could see it when he said, "I'm not taking that." It sort of just deflated the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, I think it did.
And deflated them coming into the US title match, which we'll talk about in a second. So the winner of Chris Jericho, Sami Zayn,
was Chris Jericho. So it's 2-1 to you because we both predicted it. So I'm failing in my defence of the championship. Next, we come on to the triple threat match between the women, Bayley, Sasha versus Charlotte. This,
I want to say, I was a little disappointed in this, to be honest with you. I think that we had the opportunity for it to be a WrestleMania type match.
Mate, you're safe.
Well, it's gone.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. Now I can move back and look at this now. Now you can see the size difference, can't you?
I was talking to someone on Monday straight after it, and I was saying that it was a great pay-per-view, and I think it superseded Backlash. But I think WWE were safe in their results.
Very safe. We both thought Bayley could get a win. For me, the weakest looking wrestler there was unfortunately Bayley. I love Bayley. I think she's an amazing athlete. But she took the pinfall.
Yeah, she took the pinfall. I like to see through heels that the partner on the side intervenes, and Dana did intervene on both Bayley and Sasha, not Saley, sorry, a combo. And what epitomised how well they knew each other from their NXT time was when they did that triple drop kick. Yeah. Against each other,
and that was amazing. I mean, look, these three have come up together. They are the future of women's wrestling. Yeah. The fact that they are there, and we can say we can say the champion on SmackDown as well.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch. But on Raw, the fact those three are there really allows for the women's division to grow, and it has grown substantially. However, for me, I was a little disappointed because I expect so high from them these days. I expect so much from those matches.
So did I. I didn't feel like any one of them, of the women, really got into the match. Really was like, you see, you've seen at WrestleMania, Charlotte had a 5-minute burst where she was just wrecking everyone. You didn't really see that, but I was disappointed in it. But Charlotte won. She will go on. I think she will lose the title at Survivor Series when that does happen. But it's dead heat. Both of us predicted Bayley would win, and she didn't. So it's still 2-1 to you, and now we go on to the co-main event, what was Roman Reigns versus Rusev.
Yeah, we will go through these pretty quick because it's coming up to 10 minutes, or just after 10 minutes. So Roman versus Rusev, a great match as we expected it to be. For me, Rusev can put on a pretty good match with anybody, as can Roman these days. But I think Roman is still getting that sort of heat where you don't know if he's going to be cheered or booed or what have you. So the fact that Roman won the title was neither here nor there to me. I didn't really feel anything from it, and I think the fans agree they didn't really feel anything from it.
It's actually funny you saying that, because when Roman Reigns was coming out, he probably got the biggest boo he's received in WWE. But less than 30 minutes later, when he hit that flying spear on Rusev, he got cheered out of the building. Biggest cheer in 10 months.
Yeah, but the thing is with Roman, and this is the problem, he'll get cheered for a second, and then the fans will go dead. You know, you put John Cena in the middle of the ring, he doesn't have to say a word. You put Y2J in the middle of the ring, he doesn't have to say a word. Roman will get either booed for 10 seconds when he comes, and then the crowd will go dead, or cheered for 10 seconds when he wins, and the crowd will go dead. He hasn't got over properly. That being said, I can't criticise the match at all. I think the match was a good match, and again, it was continued on Raw this week, and I was happy with the outcome.
Yes, Roman Reigns won. We both predicted that, so it's 3-2 to James. And now we go on to our main event: Seth Rollins versus KO. What a match! I think it got this cheaply by the ending.
I think, you know, having Y2J being interference is just a part of a storyline. You know, one of the new things about this new era that we've got is that they have brought back some of the Attitude Era in terms of false finishes and in terms of finishes that aren't just people winning 1, 2, 3. You know, we saw that so much when Punk and Bryant were in there. These pretty normal finishes, but the brand didn't grow.
No.
And at the moment, the brand, for me, the whole brand of WWE, the universe on a whole, is growing. And that's because they are bringing back these sort of attitude type finishes. I thought the match was amazing. I think that Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins as a one-on-one match, you can't think of a better two to face each other.
And it will go on further to probably the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and if not longer.
But before we finish with Night of Champions and declare our winner and who gets the title, I'd like to give a massive shout out to the referee in that match, because boy, when Seth Rollins hit into him and he hit the pedigree, wow, did the referee milk that shot.
He took a huge bump.
Yeah, took a huge bump, but he milked it, and I'd like to say kudos to that referee. Keep up the good work, that's what we like to see. But unfortunately, my first defence of the title has turned out sour, so it is a new day, and your new predictions champion is James Bernard. But be careful, son, I am coming after that at Backlash.
My friend. Boom, boom. Yes.
Be careful though, champ, I'm coming after that.
Yeah,
I will choose every maneuver.
I will be choosing every maneuver possible, but at the end of the day, I will keep hold of this title, and you know, the only time that you might win it again between now and Backlash is for a Stupid Idiot Award. And
I don't plan on
I hope you don't get it again. I hope you don't get it again. So let's move on very, very quickly. We're gonna have to zoom through these, but Raw starts with a match this week.
Raw started with a match. We've been saying for the last 3 weeks that Raw and SmackDown have been pretty even since the draft, but this week I think SmackDown beat them head over heels.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw.
I thought Raw was very stale. I don't know whether that's playing into the mindset that Backlash is in a few weeks, that they want SmackDown to be the dominant brand, then they will turn to Raw, vice versa.
There were a few good points on Raw, but for me, Raw was sort of a repeat of Clash of Champions.
Yeah, I thought it very much was. Rusev versus Roman. It's not often you see a match go 30 minutes.
And then have a false finish.
Then have a false finish, but that just epitomises the two of them. They hate each other. They went into the barricade, over the barricade, and they
just continue
fought.
fighting.
Yeah.
I like how that storyline is.
Yeah.
And I think it can rumble on for a little bit. Is it going to become stale? Not yet.
I don't think it's going to become stale, because Roman Reigns will bring prestige back to the title like John Cena did by putting open an open challenge every week. He said on an exclusive interview that he was willing to defend it every show he went to.
And he needs to, because the IC title is getting a lot of kudos on SmackDown. So to give the US title a lot of kudos on Raw isn't such a bad thing.
No.
So we had that. We saw Mick and Steph backstage discussing Clash of Champions, and Mick calling out Steph, and then Steph laying into Mick. And you know, I said last week, I said Mick Foley looks like he's taking on his role as GM so well. This week, I thought Mick Foley backed down, and I thought he looked like a bit of a wimp, to be honest with you.
Oh, totally. I think Stephanie was in her right mind. She is the commissioner of Raw. She doesn't have to send out a referee. If KO and Seth Rollins wanted to continue to fight, they could have. She didn't need to send out a referee, but she did. It's just unfortunate that KO hit a pop-up powerbomb as soon as he entered the ring. Mick Foley backed down a bit. I think he could have been a little bit more involved.
It was twice they made him weak. He was weak when Seth Rollins came in and Mick said, listen, I don't want you to put your career on the line by fighting when you're injured.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins said, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it was weak when Stephanie turned around to him and said to him, you know, if you want to continue being our commissioner, you will listen to me.
Yeah.
Because the Mick Foley of old wouldn't have listened. You
No.
know, he's no one's bitch.
No.
And he was made...
Let's face it, but anyone who is Raw GM
is
from
going to be
now on
Stephanie's
is going to
bitch.
be Stephanie's bitch.
Right. Apart from Triple H if he comes back.
I still think in that case he'll be Stephanie's bitch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we saw that. We saw the continuation of Rollins and Owens, which rumbled on very nicely. But the continuation that I want to talk about was how we saw Cass and Enzo go up against Jericho and Owens.
Yeah,
both looking strong again.
Both looking strong. I think the Jericho show, whatever it is called,
The highlight reel.
The highlight reel was good. The list of Jericho just keeps on going on. Apparently he's Santa Claus and he's going to sit on Big Cass's lap.
Which, I mean,
which is,
Santa
I'm a
Claus
bit
sitting,
scared about.
I am. I think anyone sitting on Big Cass's lap, including Alexa Bliss, should be worried. What do you think? 7'2" and all.
Yeah, 7'2". I'm a bit worried about that. Whether that comes into fruition in the next few weeks.
Well, then if we're going to have a Christmas, that's another thing we have to worry about. So, you know, but more importantly, in the match, I thought that they both looked strong.
Yeah, they did look strong.
But can I tell you one thing? And this is one of the points I really wanted to bring up was how impressed I've been with Corey Graves as a commentator. Massively impressed. My favourite commentator on Raw or SmackDown is Corey Graves.
Yeah.
However, one of the things I heard him and Saxton, he commentates with, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Michael Cole. One of the things I heard Saxton and Corey Graves doing was really laying into Enzo and saying that he was bringing down the team of him and Cass and Enzo. We've said that Enzo needs to get over. We realise that he's the weaker of the two, but he's still a great wrestler. And for them to be bringing him down, I don't know how well that does in terms of the brand of Enzo and Cass. And they are a brand together at the moment.
Yeah, they are a brand together. I alluded on it a few weeks ago. I would have liked to have seen Carmella come through to manage him like she did in NXT, but she went to SmackDown. We'll come on to that later. Enzo needs to be with Cass if he's going to further his career as a competitor. I don't think he can make it as a singles competitor. or he goes and manages Cass.
Well, this is a question with you. Enzo needs to be with Cass, and perhaps you guys can come into this as well. Does Cass need to be with Enzo?
No.
And that's the point. You know, for me, I think they should be together for a minute. I think that Cass is a bit green at the minute, and I think having Enzo alongside him helps him out. But both of us would agree that Cass doesn't have to be with Enzo, and Enzo at the moment sort of has to have Cass backing him up.
Yes, or he has to have another wrestler backing him up, like Sasha Banks a few weeks ago after Sasha won the title. Before we go on to SmackDown, I'd like to allude on to Sheamus versus Cesaro. We know now that they are going to challenge the New Day at Hell in a Cell for the WWE Tag Team Champions. There's a lot of animosity between them. Can they come together and defeat the New Day?
For me, it was the most clever thing I've seen in wrestling for a while.
Yeah, creative writing.
No one expected it.
No
one expected it. It was obviously, you know, in their creative. I don't think WWE creative would have thought that the matches would have gone as well as they did.
No.
Between Sheamus and Cesaro, and pick as many plaudits as they did. You know, it's been the best part of you know,
Raw
WWE
since the brand
since
split.
the brand split.
But I think Raw needed that curveball, and boy did Mick Foley throw it.
Massively. And you know what? I think that we could see the New Day losing their title.
Yeah, I think we could actually see the new tag team champions. Whether they can come together as one is another question.
Well, and it injects new blood into the title, into the tag team picture. You know, you then got Gallows and Anderson, you've got the Shining Stars, you obviously have the New Day, you have Enzo and Cass, and then you have Sheamus and Cesaro. And we were saying that they needed to inject something else into that tag team division to make it as good as a SmackDown tag team division, which again was very, very impressive this week.
Yes.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about for Raw before we move on, obviously with Clash of Champions first, we need to rush through this a little bit. The women's wrestling, Bayley took on a local competitor, won with a Bayley to belly.
Yeah, I think Bayley needs that because since she's come through, since SummerSlam, she's faced Sasha, Dana, twice, Charlotte and Sasha at Clash of Champions. I think she needed a comprehensive win, and she got it with belly to Bayley. And I think that her feud with Charlotte and Sasha, or her feud with Sasha, will come into fruition after Hell in a Cell.
I love her, and I think she spoke on the mic after, and once again showed why, for me, Bayley is going to be the next John Cena.
Yes.
She's going to be the next biggest star on the roster. We also saw a little bit of continuation of Sasha and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Huge slap by Sasha onto Charlotte.
Yeah.
Almost taking her head off.
Yeah.
Bank statement onto Dana, and then throwing both of them out the ring.
I'm going to throw a curveball here, and Sasha regains the title on Monday
Sasha
night.
on Monday night.
Yeah. Because the plans for WWE were never to take this title off Sasha.
And she recovered quicker than they thought.
And she recovered quicker than she thought, so that's why it got taken off her, but she regains.
Perfect.
I
think Charlotte, I would keep on Charlotte. I think Charlotte is...
I think Sasha regains through interference from Dana, setting up a Dana-Charlotte feud.
And then Sasha fights against?
Bayley. I think Sasha turns heel on Bayley.
I think Sasha's a better heel. I think she's a better heel than a face anyway. I think she works better as that role. But we need to move on to SmackDown
now. Yeah.
Really, really want to bring up my first point on SmackDown before we bring up the title match, which was spectacular. Is Dolph Ziggler putting up his career, saying, "I need that title. I want one more shot. I will put on my career against you, The Miz." Firstly, The Miz cut an amazing promo depicting his career, depicting his rise of The Miz, depicting all the titles he's won, starting as a smiley baby face to becoming this arrogant heel, to becoming a Hollywood star. Then he goes up against Dolph Ziggler, beats him once. Dolph comes out and says, "Listen, Miz, I fight and fight and fight and fight, and I get nothing reward. So I'm prepared to put my career on the line against you."
Yeah, it was kind of like a last-ditch effort to get the IC title. They both come from Cincinnati, Ohio, so they were both going to get cheered. But when Dolph came out, Miz got booed. What is obviously because he's the heel, and I think Dolph Ziggler might be eating his words, because I think at No Mercy, he will lose his career with WWE.
So where then? I mean, TNA is a huge possibility, but TNA looks like it's about to go out of business. Just after signing Cody Rhodes, which is unfathomable that they should be able to go out of business with the roster they have. We spoke about it last week. We hope that WWE puts in a bid for TNA, just to have their wrestlers, to have those wrestlers and treat it as a separate brand.
Yeah.
Keep it as an open brand. We don't want there to be a wilderness again where the only show on TV is WWE, whether or not they separated Raw and SmackDown as two separate brands now.
Yeah. They signed Cody Rhodes, then next week they're going out of business. They cancelled the pay-per-view this Sunday because they didn't have enough money to fly over their wrestlers and put on their matches.
That is unbelievable.
It shows you how much in the shit that they are, and they need to be bought out by someone. Hopefully it's Vinnie McMahon, so he can make TNA a good brand again. They need to stop filming 4 weeks in advance. First of all, that will get you a load of money in, but most importantly, they need to stop. They just need a change of face, change of owners.
Yeah, I think they need a change of owners. I think they need proper production values.
Because if we go through the lineup, they've got Jeff Hardy, they've got Matt Hardy, they've got Bobby Lashley.
By the way, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, who are the broken Matt Hardy is the biggest draw in the business at the moment.
That's the biggest draw, but even that can't keep him afloat. You've got Damien Sandow, you've got
The Decay,
you've got Cody Rhodes, you've got Moose, you've got EC3, you've got loads of talent. You've got Gail Kim, you've got Mickey James.
And why, we think why they're going out of business, and for me the reason they're going out of business is because they haven't capitalised on that talent. Now the shows are very, very good that they put on, but who wants to watch a show when they know what's going to happen?
Because I can just go on the internet and find out who won 2 weeks before it's even been televised, so it just defeats the object.
But going back to our point, Dolph would be a perfect TNA champion.
Yeah, he would be a
perfect TNA champion. But again, we're going to have to see what happens with Dolph. For me, his speech was really impassionate, very passionate, very exactly what you would expect from a Dolph Ziggler retirement speech, essentially. But he's at his prime. He retires at his prime. What's the point?
He said he's bored of this. He doesn't like it. If he could quit, he would. But it's an addiction. It's an addiction to him. So, and he said, one way or another, I win. Either my career is over, or I get the IC title. So next week that will go into further part next week, and we will make our predictions for No Mercy on that. But Randy Orton, how good was the segment between? Even though it lasted 2 hours, that was a brilliant segment.
My only issue with it, and I agree it was good. My only issue with it is and I know you like the length of it. For me, it dragged on. And the only reason why I think that is because I think Bray, I could listen to him do his talking for hours. Randy, I'm not so sure, but it was a throwback to old school. 100% a throwback to old school segment, which is great to see. Cool to see the backstage antics. Cool to see a continuation of the storyline. No mention of Brock beating Randy at the house show.
No.
At all, none at all.
No. And I would just like to say, thank God Randy Orton didn't open that door to Eric Rowan.
Yes.
Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God. I mean, who would want to open a door to Eric Rowan?
Not me, that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't. In the clown mask or without in the sheet mask or without the sheet mask, to be honest.
So that was, I think they're going, hopefully that match gets made next week for No Mercy.
The women's division, of course, continuing. We're going to rush through this, but real good continuation of Alexa Bliss. And Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Really, really good continuation
Becky
of that.
coming side blinding Becky Lynch, hitting her on the deck before the match even started, lifting up the championship, then just screwing away.
She's great.
Yeah.
Great heel. Really good continuation of Carmella,
Yep.
Nikki, and really good continuation of Natalia and Naomi.
Yeah.
Again, it just shows that all of the women in the division are being used. I would like to see them introduce another couple of women, just so we wouldn't have to see a
Yeah.
procession of matches.
Yes, I would, and I think a few of the NXT will come through in the next few months.
Ember Moon looks really good in the NXT, and there's a few more others as well.
Aliyah and Asuka.
Asuka looks fantastic.
I think we've got 2-3 minutes left, so let's talk about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Solid. I think that was Dean Ambrose's best match since
I agree.
Battleground, where he defeated Seth Rollins to have the WWE title on SmackDown.
Nice to see John Cena get involved at the end.
Yes, it was.
And talking on commentary loads about how he wants that title. He wants another title. He wants to beat Ric Flair or equal Ric Flair and then beat Ric Flair's title.
You can see there's beef between Ambrose and Cena. Them alone will just tear up the house at No Mercy. But add AJ in and you've got 3 absolute fantastic superstars.
Do you think AJ has lost a bit of momentum being the WWE champion? Or the world champion? SmackDown champion? Whoever it is? Universal? What kind of champion is it? SmackDown champion?
Slightly, I would say, like Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, I think it's hard to keep momentum on as a champion, because when you're chasing your one thing, when you're champion, you've got people chasing you. Now, that's why I always think AJ works a lot better as a heel. I would like him to do more sneaky heel things.
The only reason I think he's gone a bit stale is because he hasn't got any competitors. So I think once Randy and Bray finish their feud, that will add 2 more people into the title picture. You need people in the title picture. You can't just have the same 2 or same 3 every time.
Regardless, I mean, even if those 3 are Dean Ambrose, John Cena and AJ Styles, a dream 3 people to face each other. I mean, if you had to name 3 people, I think they would pretty much be people's dream match in a triple threat. From different generations.
From different generations. Dean Ambrose looked like he was going to win with the roll-up, but John Cena just kept the referee on the ropes for that bit longer. Dean Ambrose immediately came out and nearly took Cena's head off with a swinging clothesline. He got back in the ring. AJ pinned him up with help of the tights. 1, 2, 3. Then Cena came into the ring, shoved about a bit. Both AJ and Dean took the title and said loud and clear in the middle of the ring, the 16-time world champion is here.
So for me, I think it was one thing to see Cena, AJ Styles.
Yeah.
But when he attitude adjustment onto Dean Ambrose, I absolutely marked out.
Yeah.
Absolutely marked out. I think John needed that. I think it's, we've been talking about this heel turn for now, since we started the show.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a heel turn.
No, there's not going to be a heel turn, but
but we're seeing a more heelish side.
And I think that's getting over with the parents of the young kids that support
massively.
Cena. So he's getting cheered. I think he's, apart from Becky Lynch, he's probably the most cheered superstar on SmackDown at the moment.
Absolutely, I think so, and that's interesting for Cena. Although his character has changed so much that people respect him now. Listen, it's coming up to 33 minutes.
Okay.
On the Smacktalking Amigos. Hey, we've been talking for a long time today, and we haven't stopped. There's been so much on WWE telly this week, and we're going to try and we'll be in again next week, won't we?
Yes, we will come again next week with our No Mercy predictions. But find us on Facebook at Smacktalking Amigos. Find us on Instagram at Smacktalking Amigos. Find us on Twitter at Smacktalking Amigos. And find us on YouTube. Episode 4. Peace out.
Episode 4. Peace out. See you later, guys. Thank you. Oh, I've got pins and needles.